So today we've got a number of things to tackle, and what I'm going to do, we actually have a Miroboard exercise that we're going to go through. I'm going to share the link. It is actually on the agenda now. If you go to the agenda page, it's right over here. But I'm going to pop it into the live stream channel. So anybody that's in the Discord could jump right into the Miroboard. I'm going to open up sharing settings so that way everybody can actually pop in. And edit. Here we go. Should I set a password? Yeah, password should be okay. So yeah, everybody check out the live stream channel. I posted the link to the Miroboard. This will be one of our fun exercises and workshops for today. But before we get there, we do have a number of things on the agenda. Before we get started, just want to double check. Leia, how are we doing? Are we okay recording wise? Are we good to get started?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Okay, well, welcome everybody. I know we're gonna have folks stream in over the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, but we will get started. And yeah, it's exciting to see you all popping in. We're gonna have a lot of really interesting discussions today, particularly around NFTs, going through some project updates, and also seeing if we're close to claiming our NFTs live, our Genesis packs, but we'll be able to walk you through a lot of the value proposition behind it. So that's where I'd love to really enable everybody in the DAO and the community to participate, to share some ideas, to share some feedback at this early stage. So you're going to get to see a lot of like how the sausage is getting made, essentially. So to kick us off, actually, I'd love to give a spotlight over to Andrew Levy, who is actually one of our blockchain engineers, and we're trying to give a shout out to all different team members and community members, so you all get to know each other. Andrew's an amazing guy, coming with a lot of passion for the project, and really, I'll just let him speak for all that good stuff. But Andrew, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your background, passions, why you're here, what you're hoping to do, what you're up to.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, you're coming through.
Okay, excellent. Hey, everyone. So I'm Andrew. I live in Chicago, Illinois. Came across Leyline through LinkedIn while looking for a blockchain job, and I feel really blessed that I did. I fell in love with the idea immediately. Gamification for good. It had me there. I know the first day I looked it up, I did about 4 or 5 hours of research, and I couldn't get enough of it. And as soon as I closed my computer, Jeremy sent out a link on Discord to one of his interviews, and then seeing him talk about the idea and his passion and energy, I had to get involved. So basically begged the guys to let me come in and contribute. And I'm thankful that they said yes to do that. So what I'll be doing as a blockchain engineer is I'll just be helping write the smart contracts. So basically the programs that execute and change data on the blockchain. So in the context of what we're doing here with the Proof of Good DAO, basically helping program the rules for our blockchain ecosystem. So had some minor contributions to the POG token contract. And then my next task is going to be to help out with the Proof of Good ledger and protocol, which I am super excited about because that's pretty much the reason why I wanted to join, to help make a better incentive system for the world going forward. So before I pass it back, I just want to offer that if anyone comes across a tech term or a tech concept they don't fully understand, don't hesitate to reach out and ping me on Discord. I love talking about this stuff, and it'll be good for all of us to talk about the tech more. So that offer's out there. Really happy to be part of this team and looking forward to seeing what we do.
All right, thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate that. And Will, I don't know if you wanted to snipe with some.
Yes, I would love
questions.
to. So something that I'm trying to start incorporating, or we are as a team, is to kind of start talking a little bit about the people behind, the DAO, the individuals behind the PFPs. And so, Andrew, I would love to start that with you tonight, if you're down to just. I see that we're both rocking the Dories together. I like the unicorn horn on yours.
Thank you. It's actually my first live mint, so that was exciting for me. But yeah, I'm down, Will.
I love that. No, so I'm basically just gonna, we're gonna talk about some of the more talk about some of the more individual sides of the DAO. I feel like there was either a troll in here or somebody just unfortunately unmiked at the wrong time. But that was funny. But Andrew, would love to hear like a little bit of how you got started on becoming an engineer in the blockchain. This is I'm fascinated by it, and I think people in the DAO are as well, since we're all operating on blockchain. So like, kind of what got you started in that?
Yeah, so my original background is a mechanical engineer, and I'd heard about blockchain for a couple of years, but decided to take a deep dive about a year ago today and to tackle it from the programming side. So really just taking on different side projects and learning about different concepts and building along the way. I was really drawn by the idea of ownership. I think most people don't understand they don't own what they think they do. So being able to enforce that in rules on the blockchain and to be able to contribute writing that code, that really invigorates me. So then as I did more and more projects, started off siloed, working on projects alone, but then worked on a small side project before this. And then being part of a team like this with, there's a great group of developers and everybody else on the team. So it's just been such an awesome experience for me, and glad to be able to help move the project forward at the same time.
I love that. And I love that this is the first, we're live trying this format for the DAO Hall. It's like, I spoke to Jeremy for about 15 seconds about it. I was like, yo, dude, I think it'd be great. He was instantly like, the kind person, the wise person. He was like, well, let's go for it. And I didn't even tell Andrew I was going to be asking these. So you all are getting spontaneous real here in the DAO. We like to keep some things, keep you on your toes. We want to entertain you. I got one more question, Andrew. For people that are here that they haven't coded, they haven't been an engineer, they're like, they love this, but they're not, sure where to start to get into it themselves. What's like a point of entry for people that want to learn like about engineering, like a free way to get in if they can?
Yeah, I'll have to send out some links if, there's so much information out there, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. But if you're interested in some part of coding and you want to do something that's fun and interactive, one of the games I enjoyed was Crypto Zombies. For people who have no technical knowledge, it might be too much. If you have a lot of technical knowledge, it might be too little. But you're basically learning what goes into a smart contract. You're learning what variables are, what functions are, what modifiers are, and those probably make no sense to you what I'm saying now. But as you go through it does it in a fun way, and you've got NFT zombies running across the screen at the same time. So it's a good UI, and it's a good dive in. You may like it, you may hate it, but that's going to be my one recommendation for today.
I love that. Crypto Zombies, dude. That's cool. I'm going to check that out. And I just want to get back into it with this. So we're going to just be testing this out. I'll be asking different questions, keeping it spontaneous. We just thought it would be a fun way for the DAO members to get to know some of the DAO team. And we'll be trying different questions, different people every week. I just want to say, as far as the DAO talks yesterday, Jeremy, did you want to talk a little bit about the updates from yesterday, or do you want to get into somewhat more of the roadmap?
Yeah, actually, go for it. I think there's such amazing news that you could share, Will, just progress on, your side of the house. So please do share.
I love it. No, so we had a wild day yesterday, y'all, not just from the DAO talk, but I'll kind of just roll out the day that happened as it happened. So halfway through the day, I was talking to a member of my network, just basically saying like, Proof of Good's amazing, you all should get involved, like really, really fascinating stuff, just hyping up the project, hyping up our team, hyping up this community. And he was like, listen, man, I think you need there's some governments that align with this vision of, Web3 and, sovereignty, and you should listen in on this press conference. The president of Palau is speaking about the digital residency for his country. So basically what they're trying to do is like open up a digital residency for people that live in countries where crypto is banned, so that those people can still participate in the blockchain, in crypto, and NFTs, and in DAOs like Proof of Good. So really fascinating, really cool move on their part. So I got to go to this conference, and y'all, I literally could not make this up. They let me on stage. It was the president of Palau, the billionaire philanthropist Tim Draper, and me, and I asked him if he knew about DAOs, and he said he didn't. And so I told him about Proof of Good. And I think it would be a really cool proposal if we could maybe incentivize an island nation that's trying to address the environmental crisis and help crypto refugees. I think a really crazy proposal is that we could have them as an oracle, and we'd be making history as the first DAO to I don't know, to support digital residency, to support an island addressing climate change. I mean, it was the possibilities are limitless. I'll try and think of a proposal myself, but I just want to say it to the DAO because these are the kinds of things that we're going to be able to do is, meet individuals like that and propose ideas of like, being in solidarity with different DAOs or organizations or countries, like crazy. Jeremy,
Yeah,
do you want
well,
to add something?
well, maybe it would be worth noting. We've been operating on Twitter Spaces and connecting with a lot of other individuals and projects. So honestly, the amount of like collaborations and oracles is kind of flowing like crazy. Honestly, it's really almost hard to keep up. So, Will, maybe you want to call out some of the projects that you've already started to bring on board. But at least like on off the top of my head, we formed a partnership with Habit Nest, OpenGrants.io, Mighty Hercules. There's a couple other Astromojis, I believe. Will, who else like have we already teed up additional partnerships with?
Yeah, so like Jeremy was saying, we've been having a lot of great conversations just in regards to working with different NFT projects. We're talking about working with different DAOs. So if anybody has any references that they want to put through, please feel free to either get in touch with me or propose it as we get the voting protocol going. It's one of the beautiful things that we're going to be having in this DAO. But we've had a really great relationship with Dodories. I see Andrew has one as well. They've been really supporting our rooms, retweeting about us and just talking about the DAO. And I know I'm blanking, but one really exciting thing is that in our DAO talks yesterday, like Jeremy was alluding to, we had Habit Nest, who is building a play to learn. So he's trying
learn to earn.
think. Dude, thank you so much. I tried to pull it together. I made up a whole new one, but it's basically like he's trying to incentivize education, and it's a really fascinating idea by great people. And we had Rob Boss DAO, which is a community-focused art incubator. So attempting to get artists who deserve artist residencies or travel to various crypto conferences. They're trying to create a DAO that can help with that travel cost. So really cool DAOs came in the DAO talks yesterday, and we love if any of you want. It's every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and we're gonna come up with a time that works well for our European, Asian, and African families as well, because we want to make sure that we're incorporating our global community. And lastly, I'll just say we have a room after this with Rug Radio. The news came out yesterday. I'll be hosting a room with Rug Radio every Wednesday. So Proof of Good is gonna be all over the place, y'all. We're making sure that we're getting in the ears of the NFT community, of the DeFi community, crypto community, and the DAO community.
And I really want to say that last part, the Rug Radio, is a big fucking deal in the NFT space. How much, or so like one, like they're just like one of the most authentic, community and media groups that's in the NFT space itself. And how much do they charge, Will, for like even just getting on a show? It's like it's a pretty hefty price tag. I don't know if you're not allowed to divulge that.
I don't even know. I'm sure it's a very guarded secret about what they charge to be on it. But what I do know is that they just dropped 40,000 NFTs and they've generated millions just off the secondary. These people are, they're known. Like it's. I don't think there's any downside to us having a name like that with us, and they're good people trying to do good work. I believe that. I don't know them terribly well, but from the interactions I've had with them in person and online, I think they're trying to do something really impactful with Web3 and media. And so it's a good platform for us to get the word out about Proof of Good. So I'm really excited about it. And we have it every Wednesday at 9. So after our DAO halls, we can go into the room and it's just going to be kind of like a comedy talk show, but you all are welcome to come and degen for a few hours at night if you're willing after the DAO hall. But yeah, really exciting stuff on the way, y'all. From partnerships to, tokenizing to DAO philosophy, Proof of Good. We do it all.
All right, right on. So we're gonna jump into the roadmap and then some updates to our launch date. So this is always an ever-moving beast. You're getting to see like right in the thick of it, all the different activities we got lined up. So we did actually our drop, our deployed our smart contract for the Genesis Pack drop on Friday. This week we're gearing up for everybody to start to get the claim page. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to walk through some of that today, but I'm gonna see if any of the team wants to let me know if it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. But yeah, we're targeting that for this week. So by Friday is our goal to have everybody be able to start to claim their Genesis packs. So if you've gotten your 5 POAPs or your 1,000 good points in your Leyline account, or if you are part of the team or a volunteer, you'll be able to grab them while supplies last. Last count, I think we're starting to reach the caps on some categories, but anyway, we'll keep you posted here. We're gonna go into more detail there as well. And by the way, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to type in live stream chat, or you can unmic and just say hello. So next up is actually going to be our DAO governance tools. So what we're actually going to be launching once the NFTs are in place is actually our Snapshot instance. So we actually have a Snapshot instance for proof of good. So Snapshot's basically a no-code tool. Think of it kind of like it works a little bit like Discord, except for DAOs. So we actually have already set up our proof of good instance on Snapshot. So you can actually join here. All you do is actually log in with your MetaMask. And then once you do that, you basically have all the DAOs that you're a part of. So you can see here I'm a part of OpenDAO, BitDAO, and then Proof of Good. When we have launched our NFTs and you have it in your wallet, you will be able to submit the official proposals and then vote on them. So right now we're still configuring this, and obviously we have to get the NFTs into all your hands, but that's really the target to have that ready to go by next week. So it might even be earlier than that, but we're just going to play it cautious. So next week's DAO Hall will focus on actually using Snapshot, a full tutorial. We'll get some proposals in, we'll walk through them, and then we can vote in real time. So we're making this shit real. It's going to happen. Going beyond that, the team is now actually, now that we're pretty much through the NFT drop, going to go all in on building out the proof of good protocol. So the protocol is very much about, we have to establish that key ledger that's going to be capturing all the good deeds coming in from the oracles. So all of our use cases are here and available. And essentially, we need to build the ledger. We need to build the proof of good API that's going to connect the oracles to write to the ledger. We need to be able to assign good points to individuals as they verify those good deeds. That's going to be a big focus of this month, is really getting that in place and then starting to ramp up all these Oracle partnerships that we've been teeing up. And we have to move faster because a lot of people are knocking on the door and ready to go. So I'm like, oh shit, we got to deliver. So that's going to be a big focus for this month, is really prepping the actual DAO governance tools and then getting the protocol in place. And then we kick off like the migration of Leyline, one of the first oracles. And then through Snapshot and Discourse, we'll be nominating tons and tons of oracles to pop onto the protocol. So voila, that's some of the latest project updates. And again, happy to answer any questions you guys might have. Go ahead and pop it into live stream. I see there's a question here. Awesome, Crypto Gibby, amazing. Yes, anybody that wants to partner up and be a part of it, we're totally happy to have a conversation. And remember, the way the process will work is that we actually start off with discourse. We discuss it, get some sentiment. We could propose any oracle that we want. When that's looking good, then we actually have Snapshot to create the proposal and then bring on and have the DAO vote in the new oracles that we'll onboard. So thank you, Gibby, for tackling that. And then multi-qualified co-owners able to claim multiple POG packs. The answer is yes, Jeff, by category. So we have a few different categories on the good list, which I think we've broken down on the website. So if you go to proofofgood.io and you scroll down, Here you can see these are the 4 different categories. So I believe you can get up to 4 POG packs. So if any engineers are here and I'm wrong, please let me know. But yeah, that's the idea. You could potentially have multiple POG packs, again, while supplies last. Okay, any questions? Or any other questions? Go once, go twice. All right, we got 58 people here. Awesome. We're actually 20 minutes in. I don't know if you guys want to do the POAP drop now, Hans, but feel free, because we're about to go into the heavy duty stuff.
Make them. Yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna make y'all wait a little longer.
Okay,
easy with it.
You gotta earn it. All right, cool. So some of the workshop here, I'm going to really open this up. You know, it's still fairly early stage, so please do take a lot of this with some caveats, and a lot of it is subject to change. So what I wanted to really emphasize is the NFTs are an important piece of this whole DAO because they represent your membership, your ownership, your governance rights, utility, and obviously money, because we're going to be dropping tokens for you every single month, or you can flip your NFTs for a profit. So in order to make sure that whole thesis works, we got to make sure we understand the value proposition for these NFTs so that they are valuable and collectible, and you have the opportunity to sell these if you so choose. So the first set of NFTs we're actually going to be creating are the Genesis packs. And here's like the rough thesis. So the way I categorize the different areas that create value in these POG packs, one is that there's clearly scarcity. So only 500 Genesis packs will ever be minted forever. It's a representation of your ID or your identity and status. So you will have the title of co-owner of the DAO. That's going to be an official title we create on Discord. You can put it on LinkedIn if you want. You know, this is like really going to create a status for you as long as you own an NFT. And it will probably also have exclusive channels too, depending on what role you have in a DAO. We are also going to make sure there's actually direct community rewards. So every month out of the DAO treasury, we're going to be dropping a portion of the POG tokens to community members. So the idea is that the Genesis packs will have the highest percentage of airdrop rewards, and then you can increase that percentage by leveling up your POG pack by doing more good. So basically, you use your good points to level up the POG pack. It increases your percentages of the token drops that you get every month. And for anybody that's familiar with the NFT collector space, this is a very similar model to CyberKongs and Cool Cats and their banana drops and all their other, I think it's a milk token that Cool Cats does. And then so because of that, their Genesis NFTs are going for like $200,000 essentially. So we're trying to like really pack in some value here, but also tie it to, hey, do something good in the real world to actually increase your benefits. There's also the opportunity for exclusive digital and live events, which will start to plan out later in the year. It also grants you governance rights, so you can write proposals. If and when we introduce a token cost to writing multiple proposals, we could probably do a discount or actually waive the fee that allows you to vote. But then here's like where the magic happens later down the line, which is utility. So we could do all sorts of programmability with NFTs. So the very basic one is leveling it up. So, you know, the idea is that you can level up using your good points to unlock additional features, whether it's additional POG token drops, or if it's to unlock art assets inside the backpack, or if it's to attach badges and achievements. I think there's like a world of opportunity that we could have with the leveling system here. In addition, we also going to grant you access to our internal Notion and Slack channels and Google Suite, and we would give editor rights to the white paper. This one might be a little bit tricky if you give 500 people access to that, but so we might have to debate that one in the Governor's Council. But also the core team and co-owners will have the ability to post quests and projects onto the quest board, which is basically like our way of surfacing different projects and tasks that any volunteer could pick up. And then you have the ownership rights and IP rights of the art assets on the NFT. So very similar licensing model to Bored Apes Yacht Club, where the owner of a Bored Ape can actually reuse that IP and create businesses and generate revenue out of it as much as they want. So that's really a summary of all the things you're going to get from owning a Genesis POG Pack. So I'm going to pause there. I'd love to hear any feedback or questions in particular about the whole value proposition. So my hope is that these things are going to be very, very, very valuable for all of you guys. And that's just stage one of the strategy of like just getting money and assets and power and sovereignty into people's hands all over the world. Yeah, no, 100%. It's actually, it'll all go on proofofgood.io to start. So there's a couple pieces to that. One is that the UI or the user interface and the website is just like the first layer to read the data on the ledger. But realistically, this is all on blockchain, which means that it's publicly available everywhere you want. So any app and any developer can actually integrate the data on chain to render it into their app. But we will start off by having the ledger on proofofgood.io. So essentially, the header here and a different navigation is going to start to include the actual ledger itself. So if you guys are familiar with some of the blockchain world, I'm showing you here just some early previews that the UX team is working on, brainstorming how we want to render this. You guys are probably familiar with Etherscan, which is basically, okay, show me all the transactions that are happening on the Ethereum blockchain. And so you can basically see every single interaction that's taken place over time. You can filter it and search. And that's the same idea that we want to have for the proof of good ledger, where you can literally just like scan through and see, holy crap, there's like 10,000 good deeds happening all over the world today. And it's like from these particular wallets, from these particular oracles. So that's essentially, one piece of it that will be available on proofofgood.io. And from there, we can start to expand into building out profiles for the individual themselves, as well as profiles for the oracles and the charities and nonprofits. So really, we're trying to build out this whole platform where we can connect people to say, hey, go earn some good points. And then you earn a good points, you go connect to the oracles. And then it's like, hey, if you want to see your personal proof of good ledger, great, here's your profile. You want to see the entire proof of good ledger that you can filter down to your friends or family or whatever, boom, there it is right on the website. So hope that answers your question there, Julio. Exactly. And I don't know, it's great. The questions are fantastic and you're not slow. This stuff is complex and complicated. So please do keep the questions coming. Thank you. All right, so that's essentially the Genesis set. And the next move for us, and again, this is really coming back to our ethos, which is we want openness and accessibility. We're not trying to create another project that's only for the top 1% of the population and whales that have the luxury of spending $150 on gas fees and like $10,000 to get an NFT. So we also want to make sure there's at least an entry level for the POG packs. So our next set that we're going to be launching will be another 500 set. And those are going to be like basic ones that are going to be at a super dirt cheap price. And actually, we're going to be releasing a poll on Discord to get your opinion on what price we should set that at. And yeah, the idea is that we want to make sure that people have access to pick up an NFT and then be a part of the DAO. It'll be at reduced benefits. So you, like, for example, would not automatically get POG token drops. You'd have to level up to a certain tier in order to start to qualify for those staking and airdrop rewards. And potentially would not have the same edit access or access to the team that you would with the Genesis pack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually publish this in the white paper. So all of this information is actually public and available for all of you to peruse and to see. And this will absolutely evolve over time. And then all of you have the power to change this. If you think that we could do better, if you think there's other value that we can pack in here, or if you disagree, that is what Discourse is for, and then that's what Discord is for, and then that's ultimately what the Snapshot DAO tooling is for you to put those proposals out there. So again, like we really want to empower everybody in this DAO to actually, make sure we're shaping the value of these things, to all of our mutual benefit. Going beyond that, there's actually additional sets that we're aiming for. One of them is actually going to be these elite NFTs that will launch for daily auctions. That's going to be further down the line because the strategy is we want to build up the community as big as possible and really high quality as possible, which will actually attract and bring in additional whales, and particularly the guys that are coming in from like Nouns DAO, Squid DAO, Snoop DAO, etc. So this will be a little bit further down the line as we've launched the protocol and start to build out the community. And then the idea is that we'll mint one per day, these elite NFTs, but also mint one per day that you can, auction for good points instead of crypto. So that's kind of the theory at now, but it's still going to be a little bit later down the line. And we're also going to be creating identity NFTs based off of the roles in the DAO. So for example, we're going to be bringing on hundreds of POG oracles. We can actually create a unique NFT for them that represents their status, but also it's a trigger for them to get their airdrops. So if by some chance we decide to vote out an oracle from the protocol, we would actually have them transfer us the NFT. If that works, then we'll see how it goes. So anyway, that's a bit of a preview of the value proposition for the NFTs, and I really wanted to focus on a Genesis set because that's really what we're going to be getting into your wallets very, very, very soon. So the Miroboard is actually a visualization of kind of what I talked about. But if you guys want, please go ahead and join us on the Miroboard. So part of the goals with this whole the NFTs and how they evolve. So currently what we've got set up, we have our PoG Packs here that have been randomly generated from our art team. So we have Remo, Christine, and YUD coming together to basically build out these super cool variations. Essentially what we've done is we've created a number of these generated assets. Originally we were planning to do it as a 10K project. So that's the plan here, is that we have our 500 Genesis PoG Packs, and then immediately following, we're going to drop the 500 membership NFTs. So we'll use the same set of art assets that we have, just because we have so many. But we intend to actually have many sets over time. So just to call it out here, I think the rhythm we'll have in place for the DAO, because we want to continue to grow out the amount of members that can participate in a DAO, we're going to constantly deploy different sets of NFTs. And they'll all be in limited sets, and we can even like bring the number down or bring the number up depending on what we want to do, or actually who we're collaborating with. So that's the first goal that we have. The second one is, how do we also celebrate and signify the different roles in the DAO? So we're going to have oracles, POG validators, the DAO core team, DAO governors, and then also a badge system as well. The third one is, because we kind of designed these backpacks to function as a platform, there's like a lot of this incredible flexibility, because as the backpacks are taken into the metaverse, can you carry items and inventory inside the backpack? Can you swap out your pets? Can you activate your pets as well? But then also, can we have different collaborations from partners or even other artists to take their stab at the actual backpacks? So there's a way that we can actually have more participation and contribution. And here's like the end goal, is that we're creating a platform for artists and creators to also have a shot at producing some of these assets, and then hopefully getting a revenue share out of those sales. And then final bit is that we want just that openness and accessibility, so that both hardcore collectors and the general audience have the ability to acquire an NFT. So the other category here that we're currently really structuring out are our POAPs. So the way that we're using POAPs are a number of benefits. One of them is that we're basically rewarding collectors and attendees to all of our community events, whether it's DAO halls or happy hours or roadmap reviews or deploy parties or whatever. It's a way to just be engaged, because our hope is that it's a nice learning experience and also great transparency and participation in governance and development. But the second thing that we're aiming to do is actually put in place these monthly impact events. So every month, we're going to rally our community and double good points to support a very specific cause or partner. And what we do is like, yeah, let's have a POAP for that kind of stuff. Like if we can get hundreds of people to, go plant trees or to donate to a particular cause, that's a very powerful statement and story we can tell. And that should be memorialized through a proof of attendance protocol. So you'll see a lot of different variations. And, there are going to be many categories through which we can deploy POAPs. And then ultimately, we want to give some rewards based off of that. So right now, the current benefit is if you have 5 POAPs, you can actually mint a Genesis Pack. But as this kind of continues to grow and you're building up your collections, we could totally create all these other awesome benefits, discounts, perks, exclusive access, etc. So we do plan on maturing that. And again, open to any ideas, suggestions. You guys are the DAO, so you're totally empowered to contribute here. All right. Okay, so that's kind of like current state. And we can talk a bit about the future, but there's still a lot more TBD. I'll pause for any questions.
Jeremy,
Anybody?
maybe you can mention about how you can add to the NFTs as well with accessories and so on.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, one of the kind of design choices we had was, again, the backpacks. We had to have this blank canvas so we can even append badges, pins, other decorations, or maybe even the POAP themselves can be, displayed and rendered onto the art piece. So we're trying to think of it more from a smart contract level than the art first, because if we can have the data actually incorporate these other NFTs, then awesome. You now have a composable NFT that you can use, and then we'd have to work on getting the art to render this. So there are several technologies that enable us to do this. Like one of them is actually EIP 3664, which is a different NFT standard, which is not ERC 721, but enables that kind of composability and evolving format. There are other techniques we can use too, like wrapping the NFT and then adding additional functional layers. But yeah, that's totally the idea, is that we want to be able to continue to add on to this object over time that really is about your identity. How do you want to express yourself? And when you're carrying this backpack in the metaverse, whether it's Sandbox or CryptoVoxels, it is you. And it's like all of the accomplishments that you've had. So that's very much the idea of like, we want to really enhance this as part of your digital identity. Or sell it. Like, people are going to be wanting that specific hippo. I think at some point we shall see. But thanks, Remo. Great call out. Yeah, I think there'll be a couple of scenarios. One of them is that you'll always have your personal ledger. So all the good points you've earned, that you've spent, that you've accumulated, that'll always be there. But I think the theory is that part of what you're purchasing is also that story of the person you bought it from. So now let's say that, Julio, you spent 10,000 good points leveling up your backpack. It now gets token drops and you got your badges on it and stuff like that. When I put in a bid to purchase that, you would transfer it. And part of it is I get to see your story and your history and all the amazing things that you did. It's still part of your profile anyway on a proof of good ledger. And then now I'm adding my story to that NFT. So imagine 10 years from now, as that NFT passes from hand to hand and all these different people are leveling up with their good points, that's a fucking cool story. And this backpack could have traveled 15 different countries and helped people across 100 different countries and then raised $10,000. That's the kind of story that doesn't exist today. And in many ways, the NFTs that we're creating don't represent that. So I think what we're wanting to do is actually embed this real world data. And then we could do even crazier things like visualize that. So we could have a 3D globe that shows all those points of impact from that particular NFT. So that's the vision of what we want to take this thing. can we bring our Leyline NFTs inside the PoG Pack in the future? I think that's an absolute possibility. We do still have to work out the migration and compatibility of the Leyline NFTs. So if anyone's interested, here is the vision for Leyline NFTs, which is actually at the bottom of this page. So we had like a very, very fancy, sophisticated crafting mechanism and mystery box distribution where you're earning common, uncommon, and rares. You craft them together, merge them, and burn them to get super rares and then ultra rares. That was like the original vision for Leyline before we kind of spun off into the Proof of Good DAO. So we do have a lot of these already in existence, and the plan is we want to build that compatibility such that this actually fits into the DAO. We haven't yet finalized what exactly it's going to be yet. So again, open to suggestions. And in fact, I've got a suggestion box here for anybody that wants to go and plug in some post-its. Feel free if you want to get a head start there. But thanks for the question, Hans. And Big Blue Bunny, thank you for question 2. I think this is the core idea, is that every single Web3 project is going to have their own NFT sets. What we ultimately want to do is just enable this cross-compatibility and utility in every possible way. So we definitely want to do that for the Leyline NFTs, but we totally also want to do that for the Billionaire Zombies Club, and we also want to do it for Happiness, and also want to do it for Astromojis and all these other projects that we're working with. So, a part of this grand vision is how do we enable all those projects to have some useful utility? At the very minimum, as they partnered up with us, they can actually just use those identity NFTs to participate in our DAO governance. And I think this is something that we are going to need to work on the engineering side. If there's a way we can create a service layer where people can level up any NFT with good points, that's the holy grail, because then they don't even need to own a POG pack. They could just have any NFT and then level up with good points, and it's just on the ledger. I think ultimately that's like really the grand vision, where this just becomes like ubiquitous everywhere. All right. Hey, Michaela. The plans for onboarding oracles, not into NFTs in Web3, are they second priority? No, I would not say they're secondary priority. I think realistically, we're going to want to cater to many different types of oracles. So in terms of percentages, we may have about like a 60-40 split between Web3 projects and DAOs, and then traditional NGOs and non-profits and charities. So our team is focused on establishing partnerships across that entire spectrum. And each of them will require different layers of service and support. So a lot of the Web3 and tech-focused projects is going to be a bit of an easier integration because they have like devs that can do API calls and all that good stuff. But other charities will have to help handhold them through the process. Some of them are still operating on just manual processes, for example. But that's a lot of the service that we want to be able to provide to those partners. Okay, is there a ranking system for good points? Great question, Elijah. We have not established that yet, but if you look on Leyline, you can see kind of early makings of that. We did set up a leaderboard system. So on the leaderboards, we have the opportunity to actually break it down by categories, and then by cohort, and it could be by particular grouping or oracle, etc. So I think there is a lot of opportunity for us to create these types of rankings and leaderboards because it's cool, it's status, it's competition, but we also want to make sure that the narrative is correct, because I agree that when you mix in money versus physical work, you don't want to skew the numbers too much. So I think we'll want to create like nice visual separations of different categories of data. But yeah, Elijah, I love your suggestions as well in terms of, hey, how do we put the right weighting mathematically on good points, so that way it is telling the right story of, this particular act of good has this potentially exponential impact over another that is worth, associating the right value. So many of these things would actually, we could totally use help with people's proposals in discourse to help us flesh it out. And that's going to be a never-ending conversation. I think our definition and measurements of good are constantly going to evolve. The smarter we get and the more we learn, the more mistakes we make and the more corrections we do. Great questions, guys. Thank you. Yeah, for the Genesis Pack. The nice thing is that this is going to be 100% free. We're taking care of all the mint fees, gas prices, whatever. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan. So yeah, there won't be any fees related to getting your Genesis Pack. So you just need to have your POAPs. We've set it up such that we already kind of created the good list, so that way you're all covered if you've already got the POAPs in place. So we did all the work for you. In the future, when we're selling membership NFTs, then yes, the fees would apply depending on the mint price that we set, or rather, whatever Polygon is going to be charging for gas fees at the time. The nice thing though is that Polygon is a highly efficient blockchain. It's a layer 2 solution, so gas fees should be very, very, very small, hopefully under $1. So it shouldn't be too much of a barrier to entry. And I think a lot of the work that we got to do is just make sure we're educating people or helping out people that aren't able to get any Polygon. We want to make sure that people have a clear pathway there, or we can even just start seeding that into our prize pool and mystery box. Here's one pathway that has worked really nicely for us over at Leyline. Is we had a prize pool where people were claiming prizes and gift cards and crypto for the good points. So I think we're going to revitalize that as well, and basically give a nice faucet for people that need to actually get some crypto for the get-go just by earning good points. So we're trying to make sure there's like nice on-ramps to get into the ecosystem. Okay, so I won't spend too much time here, but really looking forward, this means that we have just like infinite potential for the number of future sets that we can create. And for now, we are going to kind of stick with like the PoG Packs as a platform. So we have this freedom to adjust the style, whether it's like the format of the bag itself, the art style, the functionality. We do want to make sure when we get into the elite daily auctions that there's like some really compelling reason to spend a lot of money on it. So one idea on our backlog is actually printing physical backpacks as well as part of this exclusive prize. So anyway, if anybody's like very passionate or interested or has some like ideas or suggestions, we'd love to get some ideas flowing into the suggestion box if you're on Miro. If not, you can always just post it here on Discord, or you can create a post on Discourse and submit any idea that you'd like. Really wanted to give you all a bit of a preview here. One, just so you understand how valuable we are aiming to make these NFTs for you, but two, that you also have a voice in this. You get to guide how we're building these things. We want to be super, super fucking transparent. And yeah, so there you go. That's like the whole NFT spiel. I hope that was handy for you guys. So as part of that, Leia has posted a couple of polls for us. So if you do go to the Discord server and go to our polls channel, I would love to get a sense of your level of excitement for the NFTs. I hope the value proposition is compelling. And if not, we would love feedback to like understand what the heck we're going to do. Oh man, we might need to fix the choices there, because there's 3. I hate it. You have some better choices there. And then also, I'm very interested in understanding when we go to launch our next set number 2, what do you guys think is the right mint price for this? I'd love to see if we have the ability to actually do the claim, but I'm going to ask Jonathan, Cheese, what's the verdict? What do you recommend we do? Oh, okay, no worries. But so one thing I will caution, you will probably see our features live now on proofofgood.io. So you can actually start connecting your wallet, but it's not going to work because we still have a few kinks to work out. Ooh, it's close. Okay. All right. But anyway, everybody, please do send some love and a shout out over to Jonathan. He has been the backbone of our engineering for pretty much the very beginning, and he's been working super hard to get this in place. We made this a very complex, project for him. So anyway, just want to send some love over to Jonathan. Thank you so much, man. You really put so much heart and soul into all of this. and I'm very excited for us to get the chance to claim this. So at the minimum, we're aiming for Friday, but keep your eyes peeled for future announcements. So I think it's time for POAP Drop, shall we? All right, cool. So I think if you guys are ready to claim your POAP, are we still just having people just DM you directly, Hans? Is that how we're doing it?
Whoever DMs him first. No, go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So you know who to harass, guys. Enjoy.
I was literally about to say whoever DMs him first gets 2, but I was joking.
Yeah, that is Han Solo over here. Oh, we have a bot. Okay, got it. Okay, so do note that we have a Discord bot that's going to be DMing you directly. So if you've disabled that by any chance, that's when you should DM Han Solo.
I think that's Julio. It's okay. I think it's something that's, we want to encourage the community to feel safe and be safe. So if you have your DMs turned off, just DM a mod, and we'll get it sorted, because we just want to make sure everybody feels safe and is safe.
All right, so I think we're close to wrapping up now. So again,
Can
like,
we say a
if there's
special
any other
shout out,
questions,
Jeremy?
feel free.
This is
We
our
got
biggest
like
DAO
a
Hall.
few more minutes here, and it does look like the poll is back up. So I think we have to delete the other one because the choices weren't correct. So if you don't mind, please do vote again so we can see all the to moons. And we are gonna get those into your hands ASAP.
I was gonna say, this is our biggest DAO Hall yet, y'all. We have 82 people in here, so the work is happening. I'm really I'm amazed and I'm grateful, and we're gonna keep it growing. So shout out to everybody that's in here right now. This is the DAO.